So this is just going to be a quick little video on how to adjust your settings if you own one of these PowMr MPPT Solar Charge Controllers. They seem to be a pretty good bang for your buck deal. I've been running this one for a while. It's been charging great, but I've needed to adjust total charge settings. Things like absorption rate needed to get adjusted. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to get into those settings. And might also see me fumbling around a little bit because I thought this one was broken because I was following all the directions. So I got a replacement, but I don't need the replacement because I figured it out. Stay tuned and I'll tell you how I did it.
Oh, that was sick.
Alright, so if you follow my shorts, you know that I've been having some issues with this solar charge controller not letting itself hold its settings, store its settings, so it keeps reverting back to its default setting, which is sealed lead acid battery. That is not going to work for me. I need to be able to adjust the settings. So we ordered a new charge controller, or a replacement charge controller, basically came in. So this one's going back, new one's going in. Hopefully the new one works for us, but start with safety first. We're going to start with disconnecting our breaker. We are also going to go around the back. Sorry, it's so dark back here, but we're also going to come around back here and we're going to pull our Anderson connector as well. Sorry, I'm leaning up against the tripod arm here. So we're also going to go around back and pull our Anderson connector as well. That way we know for sure battery's completely disconnected from the main system. So now that we're back up front, we can make our way through and disconnect some wires from our charge controller. Also, just for giggles, we're going to go ahead and pull the solar connect. Let's see, it is wire number 1, wire number 2. All right, so we got all the main components disconnected that need to come off. Pull the main 2 screws, and yes, I am only running 2 screws on this. That may change in the future, but for now, 2 was enough. So I may end up doing a 3rd real soon. All right, we are back at it. This is actually the original charge controller. After reading the manual 1,000 times and still not getting an answer, onto YouTube videos, found one that somebody basically accidentally said the right order to do things. The manual says enter program mode, scroll to your settings, which in my case I wanted to go to user, which I do believe this is going to be nearly impossible to see on my screen here. Zoom in just a little bit here. So you go to user and then you hit enter, and then it says to press and hold the enter button in all the manuals. But what this person said was once you do that, you press escape, power off your system, power the system back on, and you check to see if your settings have held. And guess what? My settings have held. So I'm now in user. Basically what I needed was to bring down the battery voltage, like top off charge or maximum. I got to remember what D2 stands for. So D2 is the highest absorption rate. So we brought that down to 13.8, which I matched with my Renogy charger to try to stop the issue that we were having with the inverter cutting off at high voltage cutoff once the batteries were fully charged. They were essentially shutting the floodgates, and then all the juice was just getting dumped into my inverter and freaking that out. So good news, mine works. The instructions were just very wrong, so now I know. So let's power the system back off again, get everything hooked back up, and go to bed because it's like midnight. But I fixed it, finally. All right, let's get this put back away. All right, we've got main power disconnected. We're gonna get this wired up upside down. I'm actually gonna tuck this wire in a little bit nicer, because when I put all this together initially, I did this all, well, it was mounted to the board, and that's a little tricky to do because it's basically all upside down. Yeah, I really wish I could run ferrules, but this thing literally just barely accepts 10 gauge wire, and that's what we got running into it on the PV side. So if I decide later to go with MC4 connectors, I can probably do the same thing I did with main power to the battery and just run 2 sets of 12 gauge wire. I guess I still need that screwdriver. All right, So battery negatives are going in. I had to kind of squish these a little flat because they still were kind of a bit of a tight fit as well. Sorry, my arm is totally in the way. The drill is way faster, but this is a little bit more precise, even though it does not feel like it's going in all the way. All right, so got our negatives in here. Snug them up. Pull test checks. Battery positives going in. Always remember to check your battery terminal or your wires as well. Make sure you're not running really any kind of voltage. And the case of these setups is there will almost always be a little excess voltage from capacitors in the system. All right, so just be careful. All right, well, let's verify our settings one more time here. Give me some juice. We got power. Jump into program mode real quick. Down button. We're at 12U, so that's 12 volt system, which is what we're running. User mode. All of our settings stayed. So yeah, if you have the early generation PowMr MPPT Charge Controllers program, enter once to get into the settings. By default, you can't change anything other than the setting in D2. So your setting in D5 is the only thing you can change from default. Once you've changed that, press enter and then press the program button again. So when this is flashing, press enter, then program. And that, my friends, is how you set up the stupid charge controller. Hopefully it fixes my problem. So that went super well, and hopefully this video helps somebody. If nothing else, if it helps one person, then I did my job. Till then, thanks for coming along with me on this incredibly frustrating journey. And hopefully this works well, because I've got more projects that I'd like to do, but this one's been fighting with me the most. So have a great day, and that's set up on that. And until the next video, see you guys later. Bye.